everyone, it's Allison. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. I know I said last time I was going to start doing them more often again, so here I am with these adorable Christmas list cards. So here are the two cards. You'll notice before I also made a tag, and I'll be sharing all three in this video. And these are really easy cards to make, but really cute. So I thought I would share them. We're going to feature the Noted Holiday Stamp Set. This is from CZ Design. You'll see there are matching dies that match those larger sentiments. And again, from CZ Design and Simon Says Stamp. Now I am going to be using this die set from La La Land Crafts called Notebook Pages. And you'll see there's two dies that have little notebook edges. I'm going to use that smaller die that you see on the right, and here is the little piece of paper that I already cut out from that die. And I'm also going to use the lined paper rubber stamp, also from La La Land Crafts. So that's what I'm going to use for this first card, and I'm putting the rubber stamp in my mini Misty. I don't have a foam pad or cling grip mat in there or anything. Because it's a rubber stamp. And I'm taking that little piece of notebook paper and I'm going to use the lines on this rubber stamp to make sure that I stamp them evenly. But before I do that, I am kind of deciding how I want to stamp this, and ultimately I decided I didn't want the lines to be at the top of that paper, so I just shifted it up, and again using one of the lines at the bottom to help me make sure it's straight. Now I'm taking temporary adhesive and just putting it on the back of that paper, and I'll close my Misty kind of backwards on it. And what that's doing is now my paper is going to stick to the Misty and it won't move when I stamp. I can't use a magnet because the rubber stamp is covering the paper. So I'm taking some Pinkfresh green ink and I'm going to create those lines. And I know regular notebook paper usually has light blue lines, but it's Christmas, right? So I'm making green lines, and there is the adorable little notebook page. All right, so now that we have our notebook page, I have now put my grip mat back into my mini Misty. This is the grip mat that actually fits the mini Misty. And now I can start stamping all the little items that go on my Christmas list. And probably the hardest part was just picking out which sentiments. There's a lot of sentiments. They're all adorable. My favorite sentiments, as you'll see, have to do with making and eating cookies. So just stamping all of these little sentiments with black pigment ink. And you'll notice the sentiments aren't perfectly straight, and I'm okay with that. I don't think they need to be. I think this set is so whimsical, and I think having them a little crooked and imperfect just adds to the cuteness of the overall card. So now we are done with our list, and there we go. Super cute. All right, now I've prepared a card base. This is an A2 size card base, and I have some plaid paper that I put on there. My notebook page, I have another just piece that I cut out that I'm going to double up. Now I did stamp one of those big sentiments from the set and cut it out with the matching die, that holiday checklist. And look at this sheep. This is from the Zodiac Sheep set from Mama Elephant. I colored it off camera with my OLO markers. Now, these zodiac animals, you can cut a little notch in their hands or hooves, and he's going to hold the little holiday checklist sign. So here is just an example. So here's the little die that comes with these die sets for the zodiac animals, and you just put it around the hoof and it cuts the little notch. Now I'm going to zoom in. You can see there's kind of white around the notch. And I get a little obsessive about things like this. I didn't want the white. So I'm just putting a little piece of paper underneath that little notch and taking my black marker to get rid of that white border. But you'll see it's a very black line. So first I'm going to try to remedy it by making a thicker black line on the other hoof. And eventually I do also make a thicker line on the bottom little hooves as well. And now I'm going to put that little piece of paper back under the notch. This is just so I don't get marker. I'm coming in with my OLO markers again to make these hooves darker. And that was just to prevent me from getting marker somewhere else. So I think it looks better. I will eventually make those hooves pretty much black, and then you won't even notice at all. Now, another little detail, I have this hat, and I happen to get this hat from the BB Beast Friends set from MFT, and I cut it out with the matching die. I'm sure you all have Christmas hats and different stamp sets. This is just the one that I grabbed. Now, it looks cute when you just perch it on his head. And I know there's lots of accessories that come with stamps that you can add to little critters. But I'm going to show you what I do to kind of make it look more seamless. So I'm cutting off the white border at the bottom of this hat. And I will also cut it off just along the side. So I'm kind of cutting around the little white rim of the hat. And I enjoy little details like this. You don't have to do this. It would have been a lot faster to just stick the hat on and call it a day. But I enjoy doing things like this and, just getting all the details perfect. So now I'm just coming in with a black marker and going around the rim of that hat. And now it's time to assemble our little sheep. So I'm just doubling it up. I always like to double up my elements. It just makes them stronger. And here goes the hat. And I don't know. I think it looks so much better like this. So now I'm going to double up the little notebook page. And so doubling these up lifts them a little bit off the page, but that doesn't mean that I don't always sometimes use foam tape as well. So here's the noted stamp set. This is the original noted set, and you'll see it has little check marks and little stars and little details to help, just add detail to the lists. So I'm taking the little star and some red ink, and I'm just putting stars next to some of the items on the list. To me, the more important items like eating the cookies, making more cookies. I may have been hungry when I was making this card. All right, so back to the original noted. So this is the stamp set from the original noted, and you'll see the die from La La Land Crafts kind of lines up with this stamp. And there is a matching die to this original noted set. I don't happen to have it. So this was kind of a cool find that the La La Land die kind of matches up. So here is the final sheep card. You'll see I made those hooves a lot more black, and I think it looks a lot better. Now, so for my second card, I am taking that stamp from the noted stamp set, that original stamp set from CZ Design. And again, I'm going to use some green ink to stamp this. And now there is a stamp in that set that creates little boxes for you to like check off, but I like the little left margin of this little notebook stamp. So here I'm taking the negative space from that La La Land die, that little notebook page die, and I'm lining it up with what I just stamped. I don't want the outer border of that stamp to show, so that's why I'm just making sure that I line this die up properly. And I love that I can cut that stamp out without the border. So look at this. This looks like a legit little piece of paper from one of those little notebooks. All right, so I have put this back in my mini Misty with the grip mat, and now I can stamp all my sentiments. And now I'm taking the little check mark from that noted stamp set, and I'm going to put check marks next to some of these items, and then I'm coming in with the star, and I don't know, I just thought it'd be cute to have stars next to some of the sentiments. So here is the card, and this Santa is from the Silly Santa set. This is from Simon Hurley, and I love it because you just stamp it in red and you don't have to color it. And you'll see I stamped the Christmas to-do list on red paper and cut that out with the die, and I think that card is so cute. All right, let's make a tag. So this is the Signature Tags die set from Alex Siberia Designs, and it's just a basic tag shape. And I have stamped a piece of paper with that lined paper rubber stamp from La La Land, and now I'm going to cut it out. And you'll see I purposely made sure there weren't lines at the top of the tag. So now I'm stamping that one of the larger sentiments onto the lines, and I think it's stamped okay, but now I'm kind of changing my mind. I have these little bears from my stash, and so what I'm going to do, and here I am with that stamp just to make sure I can still fit that stamp next to the bear. And by the way, these bears are the Biddy bears from My Favorite Things. This is one of my very first stamp sets that I bought back in 2018 when I started making cards. And I think it's retired, although I thought they brought it back in a vault. But in any event, you might be able to find it somewhere out there. But here's the little tag I made. You'll see that these bears have their priorities straight. They're all about eating the cookies, making cookies. And you'll see I put a plaid tag behind this main one. I think it's fun to double up your tags. So here is the final tag, and you'll see the little holiday checklist. I did stamp it and white heat emboss it on red and die cut that out. And I just covered up, the little oops stamp that I had originally made. So here are all the cards. These were so fun to make, and I think you can take so many cute critters from your stash and create little Christmas lists and just have fun. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.